Hello everyone, it is time for the DayKnight 30-Day Project Challenge once again. It's going to start on April 3rd, so let's talk about what it is. Have you ever had some project that you've always wanted to get started, but maybe you couldn't quite find the way how to get it started? Something like, I want to clean out the garage, or I want to become an author, but I don't really know what the good starting point for that is. The idea behind the 30-Day Challenge is you come up with a small, tractable 1-month plan where you're going to have some concrete output that you're working towards. And on April 3rd, we're all going to start our small little projects together as a way to have a fun social experience and also to extend support and accountability for each other. This is the website, dk30.day9.tv. Sorry, yes, I can read. dk30.day9.tv. Here you can create your project. There's some organizational tools to help you along. There's also helpful advice right here. There's a link to our Discord, which is the social hub. And you can also post updates for your project and share it with other people. Again, with this idea of making it sort of a social fun experience to help keep each other accountable. Any topic you want to go for is great. You can do writing or game design or programming or fitness or cleaning. Anything at all is great. Once again, it's going to start on April 3rd. You can get all the information on the DK30 website. The rest of this video is going to be me answering one question. What the heck makes a good project? So if you've done this before, don't worry about the rest of this, but if you're new, let's actually dive in deep and talk about what makes a project good. I've even created a sample spreadsheet here, of some example projects, and I want to note some things right away. You want to be concrete with what it is you're doing. You want to focus on the inputs and not on the outputs. Focus on the things that you can control. You also should focus on having some really modest goals, and totally don't worry if you fall behind or if your plan gets thrown out of whack. We're going to look at a lot of good, bad, and things getting thrown haywire examples to help clarify. So, first of all, these are all solid project plans. Like, okay, I want to get in shape. The goal output is be someone who goes to the gym regularly. This is very different from, I want to lose 20 pounds. Because you might not be able to lose 20 pounds in 1 month. You have less control over that. But hey, I want to show up to the gym regularly. I have control over that. In this project, Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday at 9 a.m. Boom, there it is. Very clear time commitment. And the plan from week to week, super straightforward. Another example of something you might do is you might be someone who already has a skill set, like, you maybe a writer, and you're just looking for some extra structure and motivation to do something like write 6 chapters of your book. Again, very clear, concrete time commitment. Notice that this week-to-week plan changes. Week 1 is just to complete a full outline of all these 6 chapters. Week 2 is to do the writing. Week 3 is to do the writing, and the last week leaves a little bit of time for edits and rewrites. Notice that this particular person has a good sense that they are capable of writing 10,000 words in a week. You might not be capable of doing that because of, it's an underdeveloped skill set, or maybe you just literally don't have the time. There's no reason to be overambitious. 10,000 words in a week might be totally doable for this person, and it's fine if it's less. It's fine if it's more. Just make sure it's good for you. This leads us to this third example, which is someone who's never coded before who wants to learn programming. Ooh, it can be really tricky to say, what the hell can I do in 15 hours a time with coding? I don't even know. So look at the way that this person solves this problem. Again, really concrete times set aside to focus on the project. Week 1 is to just follow along with tutorials for 15 hours. Week 2 is to just follow along with tutorials. Week 3 is to actually, hopefully, plan out a small project based upon what was learned in week 1 and week 2. And then week 4 is to just do that project. There's some question marks here in week 3. This person might not be able to plan it out all the way in 1 week, might not even be able to do that much programming-wise, and that's totally fine. There's some unknown accounted for that. I wanted to take these same projects and point out some ways that things could go poorly due to bad planning. For instance, here is the same thing that we were just talking about before, highlighted in red. This is the same spreadsheet as we just looked at, except this person says, I want to lose 20 pounds. you don't quite have as much control over that. It could be that you show up to the gym, you do everything, and you've lost 10 pounds. Well, damn it, you actually were succeeding at showing up to the gym regularly. But if you, again, focus on some thing that you don't have control over, you can let yourself down. Similarly, if you're writing a story and you're like, I want to be published by the end of the month, you don't have full control over that, right? Here is an example of lack of organizational clarity. All right, we have someone who wants to write a story, 20,000 words with 6 chapters in the book. That's kind of a clear output, but doesn't really specify any set aside time, just says, okay, 5,000 words, 5,000 words, 5,000 words, 5,000 words. This doesn't account for the fact that the writing process actually has some shifting work over time. It's not exactly like working in a factory where you just pump out words every week. Again, here is a focus on the idea of the modest goals. I want to learn to code, so I'm going to make an MMO. Woo! Week 1, follow along with tutorials. Week 2, make an RPG system. Make a living, breathing world. Add networking code. These things do take a little longer than a week. So if you ever are unsure, just be way unambitious. The important thing for all projects is that you are farther along at the end of the project than you were at the start, and that's it. I wanted to show some possibilities of things changing over time because life happens. On April 3rd, we're going to start. Maybe you want to be someone who gets in shape, and week 1, you sprain your ankle and you can't go to the gym. No big deal. This person just started a week late. And instead of starting on April 3rd, started on April 10th and did a 30-day project offset by 1 week. Fantastic. Here we have a project, and this is going to happen to statistically at least 50% of you. At least 50% are going to wind up taking longer than the 30 days to complete the project. So here we have our story writer trying to do all the outline in week 1, but week 2, whoops, looks like we're probably going to need another week of outlining. Okay, and then also it turned out we can't do 3 chapters a week. We can only do 2 chapters a week. So after you spread everything out, this actually wound up being a 6-week project. No big deal. Now, the next time that this author chooses to sit down and plan out some writing, this author will know it takes me 2 chapters per week. Or I'm capable of doing 2 chapters per week of output, not 3 chapters per week of output. Also, it could be the case that this person is totally on point, finishes the outline, writes chapters 1, 2, and 3, is on a roll, but then life happens. And this person just goes, you know what, I'm just dropping this project for now because I have midterms, or maybe there's a huge work deadline coming up, or maybe my friend needed a bunch of help and I had to drop everything and take care of my friend. This is totally fine. Don't beat yourself up. You can always pick it back up at another date, or just abandon the project, and next time there's a 30-day project, try again. You're, again, in this case, farther along than when you started. Here we have sort of an opposite problem that can happen, which is where you have some unknowns. I don't know how long this is going to take. In this case, our coding amateur decided to spend a full week planning out a project. Again, follow along with the tutorials for the first 2 weeks. In week 3, they were going to spend figuring out what to do for week 4. And maybe it only took an hour. Well, now this person can just get started early and maybe add some extra features to said coding project. Fantastic. Another thing that can happen is with all these time specificities getting added, it's very easy for you to say, oh yeah, I can commit to 15 hours. Now that I did that for 1 week, it turns out I was wrong. I can only commit to 10 hours. The important thing is that this adjustment wound up being very specific. It went down, cutting 1 night a week of coding down to just doing Sunday and Tuesday. And then instead of 15 hours a week, it became 10 hours a week, 10 hours a week, 10 hours a week. All that's totally fine. Anything that you can think of is totally great to do. Nothing wrong with any project being unambitious, weird. You know, maybe you're the only person doing something similar to what you're doing. That's totally a-okay. Over on the website, over on the website, when you create a project, you'll have extra sections that will try to ask you questions that should hopefully help you along, such as like, what's your week 1, week 2 result and reflections plan, any extra websites, and you can always post and browse through some of these projects to see what other people are working on, see what they're doing, and hopefully provide some inspiration for you. So that's it. Once again, go to dk30.day9.tv, create your project, And I look forward to seeing you on April 3rd. Bye, 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 bye. Trying to stop the record. Ready, set, stop.